So we are smash in the middle of our Stewardship Month, which is so fun. It's so fun. Every year we get to play this collaborative game of how do we talk about money and caring for our community and what even stewardship is and why these skills and this level of consciousness impacts us everywhere in our lives, and every year we get to come up with a new way to do it. So I get to play today in the realm of social responsibility and beyond. What on earth, Reverend Leslie, does that have to do with stewardship? I'm so glad you asked. We're totally going to talk about that. So far in this Stewardship Month, we have talked about the basics of abundance consciousness. We've talked about what stewardship is, which for anybody who needs a reminder, is really an awareness of what in our life deserves our care and attention, and then taking careful care and attention of those things. It can be our home, our family, it is this community, it is anything that matters to us, deserves our care and attention. We have talked about that concept in our personal lives, in our financial lives. We've talked about it in a sense of belonging in community. And today we're going to take it out into the greater cares of the universe. Because I don't know about you, but I live in a universe. And I have a television and a TikTok channel that tells me there are things happening on the planet. Beautiful, wonderful things, horrifying, terrifying things, and everything in between. And how do I apply my stewardship consciousness to everything that is going on? So we are talking all year long, we're talking about how every path leads us home, how you can't do this thing called life wrong, because every path leads us right back into the center of our own beingness. So we are enjoying sharing what paths we feel like each message are going to take us on. So today's talk, all of Stewardship Month and the whole concept is about the path of commitment, the path of choosing to be in leadership of your own life and in whatever communities that you find valuable. In addition to commitment, we're also going to talk about personal responsibility, communion with Spirit, and sacred service. So it's going to be a nice, short, easy talk. It's me. You're going to see how much I can cram into one message. We'll find out. So it seems to me, as I was writing these notes, and I know because look, there are notes. It seems to me that being a good steward of my own sense of social responsibility is about really three things. It's about being aware, aligned, and engaged. Take a breath. I want to tell Rhonda to take a breath. You doing okay up there? She had said to me earlier this week, social responsibility, oh no, you're going to make me feel bad about the things that I don't do as well as I know that I should do them. No, let's take a breath and let that go. That's just a form of resistance that we put up anytime our soul knows that we're about to do big work. So we just let it go. If you need another big breath during this message, feel free to take it. I'll try to remind us. So we're going to start out with being aware. So for me, this is about that personal responsibility piece, being aware of what's going on in the world. Now, you may have taken a class or read a spiritual book somewhere along the line that said if you are caught up in anxiety to the point that you cannot function and it is making you negative and narrow and dark and angry and you're kind of taking on this posture, right? Maybe turn off the news. And I hear that. And if you are like this, please turn the news off. Take a break. But in our movement, some of us have taken it too far. We have turned off the news and we have left the news off forever. Which means we don't know what's going on in the world. And if we are not aware of what's going on in the world, how on earth are we going to be of any metaphysical use to the world? Now, stewardship is taking care and paying attention to that which is valuable to us. So I invite you to check in with yourself. Is the world valuable and important to you? Are the lives of the 8-some billion beloveds all over this planet, do they matter to you? Yes. So in order for us to have even a prayer of being in conscious stewardship of the world, we have to be willing to know what's going on there. So it's like many, many things. It's not an up, no toggle switch. It's a slider. It's a slider. You know, the day when you can't breathe and you're afraid to leave your house and you're afraid for your children and grandchildren, maybe that's not your news day. But on the days when you're feeling up to it, check in with what's going on in the world. Check in with it. There is this wonderful quote, and it's often attributed to Louise Hay, though I have never been able to find evidence that she actually said this, but it's really good, so we're going to use it anyway. And it is this. She said, somebody said, you have to be willing to see the dirt if you're going to clean it up. Right? You have to be willing to see it. You can't be like, love and light, love and light. You have to be willing to look and see what is going on in the world, to even be able to contemplate how you might interact with it. How are we doing out there? At least two of you, but whoever you two are, let's take a breath. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. We love to quote Ernest Holmes around here, don't we? The founder of our teaching. And he said many, many, many times, too many times for me to cite them, turn completely away from the condition. Don't even let that condition enter your mind. And then towards the end of his teaching, he started saying it a little bit differently. He said, look right at that thing. Look right at it. And then see through it to the spiritual truth behind it. Because he never meant pretend like the condition isn't there. In fact, how many times did he say, we do not claim peace where there is not peace. We do not claim healing where there's a broken bone jabbing out of somebody's leg. No. We look right at that broken leg, and we know the intelligence in that leg is already healing it. We know that spirit is active right there. That's what we're talking about. And he figured out, my guess, I wasn't there. He died in 1960. I was born in 75. But I think he changed the way he said it to help people understand the fuller expression of it. You don't turn away from the condition. You turn away from the belief that the condition has any power. It's just a condition. It's just an effect. It's the leftovers of dinner. You don't like your leftovers, make a new meal. This is what I believe he was saying. Ooh, and I'll go to the mat with that one too. I really, really believe it. It's looking through the condition. And can we look through a condition if we will not know what the condition is? No, so we gotta turn on the news or read a newspaper, whatever our sanest form of absorbing information is, every so often, so that we can be of use. Now, how do we be of use? So glad you asked. Really, really good students in this class, Rachel. Rachel is TAing with me in the Practitioner 1 Advanced Consciousness Studies class. And they have great questions, as do all of you. So the way that we be of metaphysical use is with alignment. And the path that we're walking with alignment is communion. Communion with spirit. Communion with indwelling oneness. But how does one do that, Reverend Leslie? Oh, I just love the questions in this group. It is about that piece that we talk about every so often that is about knowing yourself. Know thyself, it said above the oracle's cave. Know thyself. Know what you value. Notice, I'm not saying what I value. Know what you value. Know what you think is important. Know what you believe. You want to know what you believe? Are you curious? Listen to what you say. Listen to your own words. Ooh, we call each other out on this in the office all the time. Like, did you hear your words? It's like Marty Stevens, practitioner emeritus Marty Stevens, is following me around in my life going, did you hear what you said, Leslie? Yes, Marty, I heard. Listen to what you say, listen to what you think. And then compare them with the values that you believe that you are expressing. And then you have an invitation to either re-examine your values, if they don't match. If they do match, excellent, good work. You get an A. If they don't match, which can often be true, we have one of two choices. Acknowledge what our real values are, or adjust our thinking and our speaking to match the values that we truly wish to express in the world. So that's easy, right? How do we do that? I bet you guys know. If anyone on the online campus could not hear that beautiful chorus of words, it was daily substantial spiritual practice. That's how we reconnect with our values. It's so simple that sometimes we go looking for a more complicated answer, but my friends, there isn't one. It's just that. You can make that practice look a billion different ways, and they all work, but that's the path, daily substantial spiritual practice. So when we are clear what our values are, and then we turn on those news stations, read that newspaper, pick up that magazine, and we see something in it that causes our heart to say, oh, no, this is not the way the world should be. Everybody have that month? It's been a month of it, right? And I mean, in the whole wide world, every day is kind of a day of that, where you could find the thing that doesn't match what your personal values would be calling out in the world. But lately, we've had a real run of it with what's going on in the Middle East, with gun violence, with a resurgence of COVID in the general population, thing after concern after concern, after life. And what do we do with that now that we've turned it on and let ourselves see it, and woof, the churn is going, right? We're still breathing, right? Once that churn is going, I like to turn to the advice of one of the people I would consider one of my teachers, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, who says, the news is your daily call to prayer. The news is your daily call to prayer. We know how to pray here. We know how to pray real good. We've got class upon book, upon ranting minister who will help us get that consciousness out of the inside of us and out into the lawn, out into the world, right? And so we are doing it every day for every condition in the world, right? Right? It's a great idea, right? See, to that I got a great answer. We have this hilarious thing we do as humans. Oh, we are funny. The people they be a people in. And what we do is we see the problem, whatever we think the problem is, right? And then we do every human thing we can possibly think of on the material plane in the world of effects to move around items and things and right? Because we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it. And after we run out of all of the ideas and we're very tired now, so all we can do is sit in our prayer chair because we're exhausted, then we pray. Is this a logical use of our energy? No. Imagine what it would be like to take it to prayer first and let that dictate our action. Instead of wearing ourselves out running in circles like hamsters, trying to fix it, what do we think? We're going to bother God? That God's going to be like, you didn't even try to do it yourself. The divine has never said, Leslie, seriously, a little personal responsibility in the action department. At least not to me. It's more like, finally, you called me. I've been waiting to help you. We take it to prayer first. Your consciousness shifts the consciousness of the universe. This is basic metaphysical law, and it's simple to understand, but it's hard to understand if you're following me. what we press into the law doesn't just go out of our heart into the manifest world. No, nay, my friends. It goes in through our consciousness to the all consciousness, and through that law out into every consciousness and into the world. Are you with me? A prayer today absolutely does impact an Israeli child today. A prayer today absolutely does impact a displaced Palestinian grandmother today. A prayer today really does touch the heart of someone in the ICU. It's true, it's real. I've seen it, I've been it, I've felt it. It's true. Boy, I went a place there, didn't I? Ernest Holmes said in Freedom from Stress, social systems are the result of collective individual convictions. The elimination of poverty, disease, and unhappiness from the face of the earth can only begin with the individual, where they are now, and they will succeed to the extent that they permit the divine abundance to flow into their life. Every condition, every huge, unsolvable, tangled knot of social problems starts healing at the level of the individual, which is really convenient because we are all what? Individuals. We are all an individualized center of the divine. We are all a place where the healing starts. So we're done, right? No, Leslie, you have not said point 3, and we know your talks well enough to know. We will not fall for that. How many times have we heard denigrated on social media or from the mouths of friends, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. You can take your thoughts and prayers and shove them right up your bleepity bleep bleep bleep. Right? People are tired of hearing it. They're tired of hearing it because thoughts and prayers don't necessarily lead to any action. Now, I would never stand up here and say prayers don't make a difference. Of course they do. Of course they do. But one of the differences that prayers make is that they bring up within us this commentary. For me, it comes from from wherever Cerise sings from, the 15 feet below the surface of the ground. Up comes this someone should do fill in the blank thing, right? Guess who someone is? Me. Because it's coming up in and through me. And doing that spiritual practice and taking these ideas and these concepts and these concerns into prayer activate the part of ourselves that lines up with our values and lines up with our beliefs and lines up with our intentions and lines up with our metaphysical knowledge. And it says, the thing that you can most do that will make a difference is this. And most of us see that and we think, yeah, that's a great idea for somebody to do. And not so very often do we say, and I am that person. But that is the invitation. If it was not for you to do, you would not think of it. I'm going to say it again. If it was not for you to do, you would not think of it. Which is why I can't tell you what is yours to do. I can't. It's coming up through you, as that particular individualization of the infinite mind of God. Which is why after we get informed and get aligned, we must get engaged. We must get engaged. And this is the path of sacred service. We show our values. Anybody think that their values are secret? I used to kind of think that that was an inside me thing and nobody really knew what I particularly valued. Turns out, no. We are giving away the game all the time. It shows up in how we speak. It shows up in how we pray for those who we share our prayers with. It shows up in how we steward our time, our talent, and our treasure. What are we spending our time on? Does it reflect our values? Does it reflect that voice on the inside of ourselves that is calling us to do whatever it's calling us to do? Whether it's march, give money, write letters, assist someone, visit someone, send a card, write a congressman. Whatever it is, that voice that's coming up from the inside of you that is yours to do, if you do it, you are demonstrating that you really do value what you say you value. It's very simple and enormously complicated. But if it wasn't ours to do, we would not think of it. Ernest said this. You've probably seen this quote a million times because it's so delightful and we keep going back to it. We live in a community of interests. So my good becomes your good and your good becomes mine. And the more fully we embody that truth, the more beautiful this planet is. And the more supported the lives that live upon it are. We live in a community of good. How can our thoughts and our beliefs and our prayerfulness and our actions that come out of that prayerfulness, how can they support living in a community where we see other people's good as an absolute reflection of our good? We have evidence of it everywhere. Here in this community, we have our outreach team, who is just proud as all proud of the work that our outreach team does. And every single one of us fund that outreach team, and then there is additional work that can be done and is done by the team in terms of service and gathering food and materials and additional money for these groups we partner with who are amazing at what they do. Here in our community, we have, I could list any of 100 people, but I'm going to call out Ron Owen because he, for many years, has run this program where he provides opportunities for safe housing for ex-convicts. I don't know if you know, but it's incredibly difficult to get housing as an ex-con. And when I think of someone who has lived an enormous part of their life defined by the worst thing they ever did, and then they come out, they've served their time, they've done what they can to make up for it, and then they can't step back into society because they can't get a home and they can't get a job and nobody wants to associate with a former convict. And then there's someone like Ron who says, I will help. I know the truth of you, and it is bigger than that thing that you did. You are bigger than that thing, and together we will make this work. That is hearing the voice on the inside and saying, yes, that is what I choose. I will do that thing. That someone who should do it is me. And I will do it, and I will change the world. And it does, and it has, and it continues. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. Love is the only final security in the universe. Love is the greatest healing power in the universe and the only thing that binds together in a community of spirit. So our invitation this week and literally forever is to pay attention, pray up, and then get engaged in such a way that we are part of the healing answer right at the place where our values meet. That's the invitation, and so it is. So let us anchor that in some delightful prayer as we just breathe together and remember that infinite power, infinite presence of the one is right where each consciousness is. It is every person, every place, everything, every unfoldment, and it is operating in and through and as every beloved within the sound of my voice right here and right now. So whatever challenge, cause, concern, delightful thing that we want to expand, whatever we carried into our heart into this service, we simply know that divine good is operating on that issue now. That we are the love, that we are the abundance, that we are stewarding the things that matter in our life and in our world because we choose to live on the green growing edge of consciousness, and we choose to accept the social responsibility of being a place of healing in every single way. Oh, I'm so grateful to know this truth for and as each one of us. So grateful, and I call it all good. We claim it together as we say, and so it is.